Hi, good morning. Going to be analyzing a few stocks here this morning. Right now, the account I've invested from my 9 to 5, exactly $46,050. That $50 might be, or half of that or so might be from earning interest on the $30K I had. Right now, there is simply $19K. Why? I spent $11K on what? Today. And the past, few days or so. So as you can see recently, as I've been, saying all along, the market is pretty overextended and it might pull back, and we can see what's happening here. It's pulling back a few percent on the major indices. VOO, which tracks the S&P 500, basically the same thing as S&P 500. The chart looks exactly the same. I see major support here, or not a major support. I see previous resistance at 548, 550, 552, and we've broken those, which tells me we're probably going to land closer to 545, and we're at 547.50 or so, right next to 545, and I'm not going to risk it too much, so I decided to buy a nice position. I still have 19K in the portfolio in cash, so a third, I just put basically a 30% position of my cash on the S&P 500 at roughly 550, and I've been buying a little bit less price, a little bit cheaper than 550 right around now. So I bought $1,000 at 547, 2 shares, 548.73, 1 share, 1 share, 1 share, 3 shares, half a share, quarter share, 1 share, 7 shares, 1, and I'm just slowly trimming, buying, and I was waiting for a move, and now we're seeing that move where we dropped over. We got the drop from under. We didn't hold 555. Let's go on the week chart or the day chart. Yeah, we didn't hold this. This is 555 basically. Yep, bounced off 555, but I suppose it wasn't strong enough. Not sure why, but no one can really read the market. But we just kind of go with the flow. Fell down. Bought some here at 551. That was my average, around 551 this morning. And now we're basically down, so it's down about a little more than 0.5% in the morning is when I bought it. And then now it's down 1.5%. So basically down 2% from, a little bit more than 2% from all-time highs. And I think this is a good time to start dipping into the market, the small position on SPY. None of this is financial advice. I'm just talking to myself, building my own portfolio. You guys can watch me. This portfolio right here originally started at $46,000, and I was buying during COVID, and I wasn't really as experienced as I am now in the market. And this is around very bad times. COVID was supposed to last 2 weeks. It lasted over 2 years. Dip buying, Tesla, different stuff. Lost money here. Huge extreme times of volatility, and then I was down for large periods, 2022, 2023, 10 to 15K. I bought a huge dip buy on Tesla and SPY and a few other stocks around, I was down about $20,000, and then from April to now, I've made back a little bit more than $10,000. You can see the volatility. I'm selling, buying the dip buy, I'm trying to time a little bit, and I was like, is this a cup and handle? When I was right here, I'm like, am I gonna go back up here? And I just kept, sticking to the basics and doing what the pros say and the billionaires. And this is what I'm telling you is what they do. Warren Buffett, he has a huge cash position right now on Berkshire Hathaway. He has billions of dollars stored, and I'm sure he's slowly buying the S&P 500 when it dips. A little under 447. Gonna buy half a share here. Oops, not 25. 0.25. Yep, saw how it was holding there for a second. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna buy when it's kind of price is not moving. So overall, even in a short trend to medium trend, you want to see, or it's better in the day trading, how is the price action? Is it okay? Before I buy, another quarter share, So I have 11K right now, which is a nice position. I have 1100 basically. Look at the 1 day. So from this break of 555, where are we going? We've just been pulling back. So the direction is still down. You can see here a previous potential resistance. Maybe this is a potential base right here at 547. And then we go to 553, which is about here. Look at that. About, we're going to basically going to come down here, 553, and we're going to chop between here, I believe, until we get a breakout. It's going to be like a wedge. I wish I had drawing tools, but it's basically going to be a wedge formation, and eventually it's going to, pop down back to extreme lows of, possibly 535, another 3% down, which is, that's basically 29%, 5, 6, 8, 9, which would be a 5% pullback if it does come to 535. And historically, Tesla does, or I'm sorry, S&P 500 VOO does pull back historically 5%, and it dips, dip buys around there. But also, we've seen times where it only goes down about here 24 to 26, about 2-3%, and and then it continues. It lies a large dip, And from here, if you 26.5% you bought there, you still made potential 6, 7, 8, another 2%. If you're buying, even if you're buying at the top, this is why you don't buy at the top. You buy around here, buy in the lower part. Buy low, sell high. It's not super complicated, guys. You just got to be patient and just stick with the basics. And a part of the basics, only, I wouldn't say don't trade, don't swing trade. What I'm doing, I'm, taking significant risk. Sorry, my dog just ate something foreign. I'm outside right now, not at the 9 to 5. Potentially fired from the security job, but that's all right. But I do have side jobs and whatnot. But right now, we do have a nice cash position. I've been saving over the past few years from 9 to 5s, and it's okay that I'm not working for a bit. I can focus more on my portfolio. And the best way to make money also is to not really focus on it. So 546.95. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a formation here, right around here, which is a good sign. It's starting to, in the very short term, it's starting to build something, because there's the most consolidation right around here. This could be the low, and this could be the high. 551, 552 high, which you're going to see is where we dropped 552 or so. And yep, it's going to come back here, 552. And this is kind of like the bottom, 548, 546. Or maybe it's closer to here. 545, 546. We're like right there. It's like another 10 basis points, like 0.10%. Let's buy another quarter. Let's see the average here. So 546.67, 543.34. It went down 30 cents. I'm gonna buy it. There you go. I got it at 27 cents. I got it when the candle was moving down. Just like a tiny bit better. See, 546.27. It's at 546.25. Oh, still going down. Okay. It's looking good though. Looking good if you have money and you're trying to buy the dip. But it doesn't matter, if it's looking good or bad in the short term. We're focused on the year chart. Look at the 1 year. The 1 year is very obvious what it's doing. 5 year, very obvious what it's doing. 5 years ago, your average was probably going to be around here if you bought 5 years ago or so. Maybe here. Yeah, average maybe could be right here. Right here is your average. Even if your average is at 34%, 34 minus 86, where we are now, still up 50% in the past 5 years. You're averaging 10% a year, which is the average of the S&P 500, and dividend reinvestment, another 1% you'll probably get, so 11% or so. And if you're really working and investing somewhat heavily on the dip buys below 5% or so, you are getting more than 10% a year, closer to 15, maybe closer to 20. Also, if you diversify a little bit of your money, maybe another 20% of the 100% or 30% of your 100% of your cash position, small percentage, into things like Tesla, Magnificent Seven, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Nvidia. People are struggling to get Nvidia chips. Nvidia is going crazy. Microsoft, crazy data on their the companies and the software has been out for so long. So many companies use them, and Microsoft. I don't have to tell you much. It's a machine. It's a money printing machine. Nike kind of struggling, but Nike's still a massive brand in other parts of the world, not just America. Even though it seems like it's slightly fading here, I bought a couple shares. What's the worst that can happen? It can go a little bit lower, but we're pretty much at the base. And there's huge upside potential, and it's Nike. It's still an insanely large company.